In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you my thought process in selecting the best angles that best tells my story. And to help us achieve this today, I'm going to be using very unconventional tools. This right here is a boom pole, but today I am going to be using a gimbal here and then mounting this gimbal on it, and I can use it to simulate kind of like a fake drone shot, or let me say a high point of view shot like you saw in the intro sequence right here. And later on, I'm going to be using this same technique in achieving this kind of shot, which helps give us an illusion like a jib shot, where it is virtually rising from down to top. So without much ado, let's get right into this as I take you on the journey to show you exactly how to go about selecting the best angles for your videos. Let's do this. I've mounted this here because the whole short film you just saw was actually shot on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. So I'm going to mount it on the gimbal right away. But for those of you who are curious and tech enthusiasts, these are the technical details of exactly what we are going to be using and how we are going to be capturing this. So we are going to be using the Blackmagic app, and then for this first shot, I'm going to be using the wide angle lens, which is the 26mm. I'm going to be capturing this using the 24 FPS mode, and then of course my shutter is at 250. That is because we don't have an ND filter available at this point in time. So these are the settings we are going to be using. So let's get right into this. Okay, action. Okay, cut. Okay, action. Slow. Okay, cut. I'm going to still do a little bit of the fake drone shot style. And so I'm going to turn this camera to face a little bit down to shoot. So I'm going to look down on him as we go. Action. Okay, all right, cut. So as we were moving, you realize that my legs were appearing, but because I'm actually using these lower thirds, I'm going to be cropping in, so it's not going to be that much of an issue. So I'm done simulating this kind of drone shots in this particular shot. So the next one I want to do is that I just want to have a shot, just this whole forest. So we can show these ones at the beginning, just before the whole short film starts to unfold. So action, I'm just recording. So the aim is to make very slow movements. My psychology here is that trying to get this kind of shot, it's like already telling people that something very unusual is going on, because this is already an unusual angle. Most of the times you don't walk around with your head up like this, looking at things. So showing people unique angles like that, first of all, it keeps them watching and also introduces that whole angle where they begin to wonder what is going on, which is what we constantly want to do with any type of shot that we try to create. Capturing the best angles already starts in a scenario where you have the right form of location. It has this kind of dryness to it, which kind of accentuates the part of the story that tends to show that this is kind of like horror. So when you even look at the location alone, you already know that something is wrong. So after this, the next shot I want to create right now is to create kind of like a Jib shot, so that he walks into the shot whilst the camera rises up. So that's the next thing that we are going to try. And the sun is still to this side of where we are standing, so I still want to capture more of abstract shots. So let me just use the opportunity to record this with a little bit of a pan to it. So I'm just going to move slowly while the sun can be seen in the background over there. So the goal here is to always capture more than you may need, because you really don't know what is going to come in handy. In this case, I'm not working with a strict storyboard. I'm just going with the flow and trying to come up with ideas as we go along. This time around, I've set the gimbal in a different mode to try. Notice that I've placed myself to a place where there are a lot of foreground elements in front, especially these branches. So when we rise, the movement would actually be very accentuated. All right, action. All right, cut. Okay, so let's do another walk with you coming in front. So you come towards us. Action. So that we can get two angles all at the same time. Apart from capturing him going, we now have a shot of him coming towards us, and then we see which one works. So that worked out very well. These branches, as the camera continues to rise, serve as the foreground element, and it makes the whole thing look very good. So one of the thought processes is that if I want to have camera movements being done, I'm looking at always having several layers here. So these 3 branches would therefore be the foreground, the subject is the midground, and then we have the background. This helps to accentuate the movement and make it look way much more nice, or what we call cinematic. Just to help give a feeling that something wrong is going here, I need a close-up of his face when he comes to stand to look at the building. So I'm going to take the first shot of him. He walks towards the camera, stands to look at the building. He will now proceed. So Sisu, you come closer to your final destination. Let me set the focus, then you go back. The goal here is that we are trying to create very uneasy shots. So I'll be taking it from above. Can you come closer? So I'm going to do this. Yes. Okay. So what I actually really rather want to do here is to use the medium camera. Okay, so you can go back. Okay. So I've had my focus set and I've started recording. So he's now going to go back and then now walk into shot. All right, it's good. Okay, action. All right, cut. So as you can see, I kept adding some slight movements to it, you know, right from the top to the down. This is once again to help add that whole emotion about something being wrong. So I'm going to try a side shot. So Sisu, can you stand for me? Let me try to set up once again. So with this one, I would want to use the close-up lens and see what we can get. So you can just take a few steps backwards. All right, action. All right, cut. So the next thing I'm going to do is to have a shot from his back as he arrives. Let me just go ahead and take a close-up shot of him looking around just like this. And then we can already lock down that shot. So I'm recording. And as you can see, I'm adding some slight movements to it. And I want to create an illusion of depth I don't want the audience to see like here, the ending part of the building. So I want it to occupy the screen. So I'll keep moving slightly so you can keep looking around. All right, cut. And then we switch back to the wide angle, and then he can walk into the shot. Then after that, he can walk back. So stand at your final location, let me see. Okay. All right, so I'm going to set the focus on the building. All right, action. Okay, so I'm going to try a very creative shot here where we'll pass the camera in between his legs. So you may still have to open up a little. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start from the building, then pull out. Okay, so we're going to try that same shot again whilst he's still standing. I think it's a very good idea. Once again, sometimes you just need to allow yourself to come up with the ideas live whilst you are on set. So I'm going again. Action. Okay, so since after that you can walk away into the building. Action. Okay. So for now, since I'm not too sure how the edits are going to go, we need some other extra shots of just his leg alone walking on the ground so that we can have other shots to be able to cut around just in case things are not going as planned or the edits are not going as well as we probably are seeing it now. So I'm just going to let him walk across and I'm going to take just a shot of his legs going. We're going to take the camera down and then we are going to follow his walking movements as he's going along. So I'm looking at two things. The wide isn't quite working out, so I'm going to change to the medium lens rather. But the wide isn't giving me the kind of effect that I want. Slow. So at this moment, we are going to create an illusion as if someone is watching him to help heighten that kind of horror look. So I'm going to put the gimbal in vertigo mode so that we'll be able to turn it 360 as we go along. So I'm just going to, okay, so let's lock in the focus. Okay, since we are ready, action. Just use the opportunity to take another abstract shot. So I'm also going to use the opportunity now to just get a shot of the building so that we can intercut this with the time he's just standing and looking at the building. So I'm going to position myself in such a way that I can get a wider view. Then we can do a slight push in. So let's record this. from this point, we are going to try something called a frame within a frame. So I'm going to be inside here whilst we can see him outside. So I'm going to frame through this door here. This one, it doesn't matter whether I'm too low, too high. I'm going to try to keep it within eye level. So let me show you what I mean. So you take a few steps back and then you can come. All right, so I want to do a slight movement, pulling the camera down once he comes into the shot. Action. Action. At this moment, I would want to capture a close-up shot of his face coming through. I'm going to switch to the close-up lens. Since you can't get your head inside, let me see how you usually do the looking. Okay, so can we cheat it a little? Can you come inside? Like, maybe if you can keep your head around this area. Okay, so let me set up. So I'm going to lock in the focus. Okay, so just take one step back, then you can come in. All right, action. Keep looking. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to get an abstract shot of him just looking up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this back to the wide shot, and then I would adjust my shutter a little. And then I'll just have the camera pull. Whilst we are facing up, we're just going to pull down. The goal here is to add very slight tilting movements as we are going. Okay, so apart from this, there's a shot where he walks across. So I'm intentionally just going to create a point of view shot as if he's the one walking and looking up. So let's just use the opportunity to do that. Slow movements. Let's go. The next thing I would want to do here is that after he's done looking, he walks across this way. So I'm still going to use a wide shot so that we can see him walking across. And then one thing I've noticed about the Blackmagic app is that when you have stabilization on, it crops in just slightly. So in this case, I'm going to take off stabilization completely so that I can have a little bit much more of a wider room to work with because I want it very wide. So since you are going to come in, again, watch, and then you take the walk across. Okay. Action. All right, cut. As you can see, we had the behind scene camera in view. So what I'm going to do is that now, we're now going to take a shot from behind him as he sees that hole and then he's walking past. All right, action. So I'm just going to try to get another abstract shot from here, and maybe it may come in handy during the edit. So just do something like this. We are now behind a building, and then I'm going to have a shot of him looking outside. I'm going to point the camera towards this direction where we have the sun coming in. I like the kind of flares that the sun is creating. And then I'm going to lower the camera height. So I'm going to come down like this, and then also tilt it up facing the sky a little. And then when he comes out, we can have that kind of shot of the head just looking out. And then after that, we can now go in and have another close-up shot from the down. I'm going to still keep the stabilization off so that we can still have a wider view. All right, action. Cut. Okay, so let's do the close-up. So I'm going to lock my focus, and then once again we are going to be looking at him from down to top. That's why I've lowered the camera height. So let's record. Since you go back and come. Okay, that's fine. Action. All right, cut. The other thing I would want to do now is just to get a point of view shot of when he looks up. So I'll switch back again to the wide angle right here. And then I'll try to position myself towards this direction. And then I'm going to move this way and try to have some slight movements to the right. So I'm going to try to do another one towards this direction since he looked at that direction too. All right, and I like the way this log is just hanging in here. We could just have a shot of it as well. So now the ending initially was that if we had people around, he stops, someone touches him, and then he tries to turn around, and then that's where the sequence ends. But unfortunately, we don't have anyone around. I could set this thing on the tripod and then we get that kind of shot. But in this case, we are running out of sunlight. So I'm just going to end this with a normal crane shots and just use music rather to tell the story. So that immediately he comes out, we cut all the scary music and now just play happy music. I don't know if this worked, but this is how it looked like. So that's how powerful music is. That wasn't the intended ending, but I was able to use music now to re-engineer the whole ending to have this kind of a feeling. So once we've ditched the idea of the initial ending, I rather want to end this with a very long jib shot. So I'm going to attach the boom pole once again to it. And then we're going to take it to the widest available lens that we have. Because the whole camera is going to rise up, what I'm going to do is that at least I'm going to put standard stabilization at least on. Even though I like the wideness, I will not want to apply any sort of post stabilization to it. So I would rather want to sacrifice it like this. So I'm going to have Sisu go inside, come again, repeat that shot of looking around, and then he will now walk past, and that is how we are going to end. I will not be able to access the record button, and I'll just have to hope that we are capturing the right thing. So I'm just going to record right away and then open this up. Right? Open this up. I'm not comfortable taking it out completely. Lots of physics would always win, so I'm a little bit careful. Okay, so I'm going to go back. And make sure this is straight. All right. Action. So I'm going to record again, and then I'm just going to have a shot of the building, right? So let's extend all of these out. It is full glory. Right. And I'm just going to move this. And then make slight movements across board. So I'm going to have a shot into this broken chimney looking up. I hope I'll still be able to see. Good, it will work. Concept will work. Okay. So let's try another one with a close-up angle. Select the close-up lens. Oops. That is it for this video, and this is how the final sequence looks like. do hope this video was very helpful and you got a ton of information out of this video. And if this is your first time of seeing my face, welcome. This is Africa Amaze channel. Over here I do talk about cinematography, photography, editing, and all its related branches. And I do much appreciate it if you do click on the subscribe button if all these are stuff that you are interested in. And I will see you in this other video right here where I talk about how to shoot a video using one camera. Until next time, as always guys, keep practicing filmmaking. Peace out.